I know what poverty means. I know what suffering means. I know what struggle means. I know what wealth means. And so I feel that I experienced uh, many things in life, and I'm very grateful with it. Yeah. Hello, my name is Pemba Sherpa, and I want to share some of my stories. I grew up in the Everest region of Nepal, in a remote village of 10 houses called Sengma, where there's no electricity, no plumbing, no running water, no roads, which is very different from where I live now. Despite the hardship and poverty, Sengma was a wonderful place to grow up, and high mountains, deep valley, river gorge. Each way we have to walk 3 hours to get to school. We have to go down to the valley, go around, cross the bridge. There's a river between my village and the school, other side of the valley. So the villager make a temporary makeshift bridge. And because of the monsoon river, it gets swept away every year. The makeshift bridge was not only get swept away, but it was very dangerous. One day I was walking to school with a few friends, and one of my friends just fell from the bridge to the river, and he was drawn away. I mean, he was gone. The whole villager was chasing him, screaming it, but it was a kind of a sad memory. And since then, I developed a curiosity for the West, which I really wanted to come to the West somehow, which I finally did in 1991 with my backpack, tents, sleeping bags, and $200 in my pockets. And I was like kind of a little freaking out too, like, oh, what am I gonna do after I finish this money? So I knew people that I guided in the Himalayas, and I asked them around and see, they can help me find a job, and they helped me find a job like cleaning house or landscaping. So all of a sudden I have like few $1,000s. I was like, this is cool. So that's really how I started here. So after I came to the U.S., which I did, I went back and I built a permanent suspension bridge there. That was about 28 years ago now. I built a permanent suspension bridge, and now the kid can get to school in half hour safely. Not only that, but the villagers and people who go to markets and do the tradings, they all have a really easy access. I mean, it's just a bridge, but but I know what that means in that part of the world and the area. And I truly feel that this was one of the meaningful things I've done in my life. Boulder, Colorado was a perfect place for me to be. And then I decided to stay here and go to school. And Colorado was a beautiful place. It reminded me back home and made me feel kind of like home here. And I really enjoy cooking. It's kind of my passions. Even in these big expeditions, I'm not a cook in this expedition, I'm a guide. But I always go to the kitchen tent and help cook, and lots of time I just prepare the meal for the whole groups. I was also searching some kind of business opportunity here, and that's when I saw there's a need for this kind of a cuisine in this town. The restaurant is not just like a place where you cook and sell food and whatnot. There's something about congregating communities, friends, and sharing cultures, and that's something I wanted to do it in this town, and I did it about 22 years ago. And today we're probably one of the busiest restaurants in Boulder town, and the business is fantastic. I love keeping a job too, like new Sherpas, they are coming in here and provide them job and housing, and they send money to their family, send their kid to schools, feed their aunts, uncles, and it makes me feel good. Yeah. Well, Sherpa Chai, I started about almost 9 years ago now, and the chai is a staple part of drink in that part of the country. It's more of a culture than drink, actually. You go to every family, every houses, in these events, first thing they offer is chai, And this is the product that my mom made me every morning before I walk 3 hours to school. And I serve here at the restaurants when I first opened it. And, and we made like real authentic chai, how people drink in that part of the world. And the customer loves it, and we're serving here like gallons and gallons a day. And customers are keep telling me like, hey, your chai is good, you should bottle it. But I was keep hearing more and more of that. And one day I thought, well, maybe there's a need for it, maybe there's a market for it. And I went out there and did a little research and study about the chai. And surprisingly, there's a huge market and there's a handful of chai product out there in market. I tested all the product out there, and I don't like to put other people's product down, but I haven't seen one real authentic chai, how chai should be made in the market. That's when I thought there's a need for it and there's a market for it. And I started Sherpa Chai. And today Sherpa Chai is sold pretty much throughout the country in thousands of stores. And in Colorado, we're the #1 chai sellers. Well, making chai is definitely a process.
My name is Dili Koirala. I grew up in the foothill in Nepal, east part of Nepal, where I grew up, and I have a small tea farm in Nepal. Still, my nephew running that business. And when I came here, Pemba is my it's what you call best friend, or the boss. I've been working with him like a 25 plus year. When I came here in 2012, and he said, let's do some of those other business. And before that, he researched about this, the chai business in US, because I was in Nepal and he was in here. It's a long time. And then he said, let's do some business. And that was my background, in the tea farm. I grew up in there. I know how to drink it, but I didn't know how to make this, that happen, And he knows all this business and that business sense, all this market. He researched he spent lots of time and lots of money for that. And then I came here and I helped him to, make this happen. And we start from the restaurant, everybody go back to home after they finish at the restaurant at 10 p.m. And I start making chai using the same equipment. The product came out in 2014. Luckily, we got in Whole Food first, and then slowly we start growing, maybe in 5 more years to Bloom, We start just, Pemba and me, we work together very hard to blow this, up. But right now, I think 12, 13 people working for the company. It's growing, but it's a growing pain, right? At the same time, it's lots of work, Uh, and he put lots of money and effort for whatever he can, and I put from my side and whatever I can. We do some of those, the program to help people back in Nepal, and he helped a lot. 2015, when we had like a big tragedy like an earthquake, he helped a lot personally. Right now I'm producing like a 500 gallon, which is sometimes enough, sometimes not. The end of this month we get the part and set up this. And we have that cattle that might be like 1,000-1,200 gallon per day. So we're gonna produce. So yeah, we are growing. What I'm making today is the traditional chai. Traditional is a recipe from Nepal. We start from that traditional recipe, the first one, and slowly whatever the customer demanding, and then I try to fulfill their demand. Right now we have 7 different flavors, and then I have maybe more than 10 other recipe also. These are the ingredients: cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper, and I have 7 different flavor. And one of the flavor I add some of those cayenne pepper for the spices, just touch of the cayenne pepper. And we have the citric acid for the preserve the product for the year. The makes shelf stable. This is all white bag from our farm from Nepal. This is the black tea, organic black tea from Nepal. So these are the ginger from Peru, all organic ginger. And sugar, sometimes we get the sugar from Brazil, sometimes we get sugar from the part of the US also, but sometimes we get from India. Different ingredients from different place. Whole thing boiled like almost like 3 hours. That's the process. When it's finished boiling, finish the process, directly connect to the assembly line and goes to the bottle. That bottle is like a hot filler bottle. Looks simple and easy, huh? I've been doing same thing in almost like 10 years. We start 2013 making chai. Oh, here you go.
One of my biggest goals right now is that with the Sherpa Chai, someday I wanted to build a hospital in Nepal because the healthcare there is so poor. Thousands of children are dying from a waterborne disease. So I really wanted to build a hospital there and provide a quality healthcare. I believe that people from here can help save many people's lives there. For me, it's not too much about making money, but for me, it is more about the feeling of making something happens. And if this company did succeed and someday I cash out and have some bunch of cash, which I believe that I can help third world countries who are in need in education, health, jobs, training, resources, and that's my goal. So I think one advice that I'd like to share with the young people is that the perspective, you have to understand, and you have to know people are out there and how lucky you are. Yeah, you shouldn't take it for granted. You should appreciate what you have. That's the advice. That's the advice I share with the young people here in the US. Personally, I feel very lucky. Even I die tomorrow, I say thank you to the God. That's how I felt today. Cool.
I think that
Yeah, we got some good information in there.
all right, I think that's gonna great us. Yeah, thank you so much.
No, you guys footage are really good. I looked at those and it's better than my talk, I can tell you that. Yeah. Yeah.